In 1918, English was called an oppressor language. Therefore, the Indian leaders of the North decided that everyone should speak Hindi. They secretly and publicly pushed this imposition forward. Those who opposed this change were arrested in masses. They were beaten and tortured. In such circumstances, to protect their mother tongue, a student army rose up. In 1959, in Tiruchirappalli, a train is passing through a forest. Inside the train, a minister is introduced to Thiru, a Russian KGB-trained espionage officer. Suddenly, the train pilot sees something and starts blowing the horn. On the railway track stands a man named Cherian, who is standing there to stop the train, or perhaps to die. His friend Govind tries to convince him that there is no need to give our lives for language, but Cherian does not listen to him and pushes him away. Inside the train, Thiru senses something wrong and orders the police to protect the VIP coaches and ministers. When the train finally stops, Cherian and his friends enter the train. They take all the passengers out. After all the passengers are outside, they start burning the train by throwing handmade chemical bombs. Then Cherian's friends run into the forests to escape the police, but Cherian remains inside the train. At that moment, Thiru comes from behind and tries to pull off his mask. Cherian pushes him and a fight begins between them. During the fight, Cherian breaks Thiru's finger and jumps out of the window to escape. On the other side, in Madurai, the Prime Minister has arrived for the inauguration of the Gandhi Memorial. In the meeting, the Prime Minister asks Thiru about the incident. Thiru tells him that it is a group of about 20 students who speak different languages. He shows 2 paper cuttings, one in Tamil and one in Hindi. In the Hindi newspaper, there is news about a railway job opening, but it is not in the Tamil newspaper. Because of this, they burned the train. Thiru suggests that they should find and arrest them, but the Prime Minister says that this issue cannot be solved with violence. He orders that this incident be reported as an accidental fire. After the meeting, Thiru's boss doubts him and says that he is also a Madrasi, so perhaps he could be one of them. In Parliament, the Prime Minister announces that English will continue to remain the official language. People celebrate their victory with an energetic dance. After the celebration, Cherian receives the news that Govind was trapped in the fire and died. This incident deeply troubles Cherian, and he decides to leave the protests. Now, in 1964, after the death of the Prime Minister, Cherian is working as a fireman on a train. When he comes home, he fixes a light. His grandmother gives him a letter stating that he has been called for an interview for a ticket examiner job in Madras. For the job, Cherian decides to learn Hindi. Ratnamala, a girl who is the daughter of a minister and works as an announcer at a radio station, is Cherian's good friend and the college mate of her brother Durai. The next day at the National Radio office, Ratnamala is unable to speak into the mic because she feels scared and stammers. Then she finds confidential news on her desk. From now on, all government official notices will be issued only in Hindi. Because of this decision, Cherian's grandmother is unable to send money to Durai. At Annamalai College in Chidambaram, Durai is fighting with his college mate because he played a Tamil movie on the screen. Ratnamala stops him and takes him outside. She tells him about the declaration and says that it will be announced on the radio the next day. Then they all decide to burn the Hindi Prachar Mandal. The next day, Cherian sees the burned building of the Hindi Prachar Mandal and finds a note there written in blood, "Let justice prevail." At the same time, Thiru arrives, as he is the investigation officer. Cherian hides his face and leaves the place. At Cherian's house, Durai returns from college. There is a bandage on his hand. When he sits down to eat, Cherian comes home and asks him why he burnt the building. Durai says that he did not burn it and tries to run away. After a long chase inside and outside the house, Cherian catches him and makes him promise that he will not do such a thing again. The next day, Cherian takes Durai to Chidambaram. Both travel by the same train. On the other side, at the Chief Minister's residence, Thiru delivers a letter stating that the Special Powers Act has been issued and that the Prime Minister has given Thiru the authority to investigate. In Madurai, Cherian goes to the National Radio office and asks Ratnamala to teach him Hindi. The next day, she starts teaching him Hindi. At the telecommunication head office in Madras, Thiru shows donation boxes. He has started a donation campaign in the name of anti-Hindi resistance. Students and people from different districts send money. People provide him fuel for free so that he can burn more buses and trains. Then he tells the Chief Minister that they are ready to start a war, so they must also take strict action. Thiru orders all telecommunication head officers to monitor all phone calls, telegrams and letters, starting first with the Chief Minister. On the other side, Ratnamala calls Durai.
She tells him that an officer had come from Delhi and threatened that the news must have leaked from the national radio. Durai tells her to stay safe. After this, all telephone lines begin to be monitored. One day before 26th January, Thiru comes to the chief minister's residence and says that according to his intelligence, black flags will be hoisted in some areas. He asks for a signature so that it can be stopped. The chief minister tells him to handle Madras because he is going to Madurai to inaugurate Hindi Week. On Masi Street in Madurai, the head of the opposition party gives a speech saying that if the government does not give permission for the protest, they will hoist black flags on their own houses. Suddenly, the police arrive and arrest the minister on charges of disturbing the peace of the country. At the same time in Madras, Thiru reaches a printing press and asks the owner, Kannan, what news is going to be printed the next day. Kannan refuses to tell him. Thiru pulls a paper from the machine and finds anti-Hindi propaganda in it. He arrests Kannan and orders the electricity of the entire Madras city to be shut down so that no more printing can take place. The next day, Chezian gets ready for his interview. On the other side, Durai and his group discuss the arrest of their leader. The group is afraid about the Masi Street protest. Durai says that if no one comes, he will go alone and is ready to die like a warrior. At that moment, Chezian arrives there and advises Durai to leave the protest. He wants Durai to focus on his studies and live a good life. But Durai does not agree and a fight breaks out between them. During the fight, Chezian breaks Durai's ankle and tells the group that the protest is cancelled because Durai will not be available for 45 days. Then he leaves for the interview.
In Madras, while getting down from the train, Chezian accidentally bumps into a student. The student's pen falls down. Chezian gives him his lucky pen because he does not have money to buy a new one. In the interview, Chezian answers the job-related questions correctly but gets stuck in the Hindi subject and cannot answer properly. The interviewer says that he is not eligible because he cannot speak Hindi fluently. No matter how much Chezian argues, they do not listen and say that according to the Official Language Act, it is compulsory to know Hindi fluently for government jobs. Chezian leaves the building feeling sad. At the railway station, the chief minister is leaving for Madurai. The same student to whom Chezian gave his pen breaks security and reaches the chief minister. He requests him to raise his voice in parliament against Hindi imposition. He fears that exams will also start being conducted in Hindi. The chief minister calls him mad and has security remove him, then leaves for Madurai. Outside the station, the student sets himself on fire because he did not receive any proper answer. Durai sits in a corner and cries uncontrollably. On Masi Street in Madurai, the chief minister is welcomed. Durai arrives there with his group despite his broken leg. As soon as the chief minister begins his speech, Durai and his group enter the building opposite. They shout slogans of "Long live Tamil" and throw carbon papers into the air. In Madurai, the government had shut down textile mills and dyeing factories so that people could not protest. At the same time, Thiru is arriving at Masi Street from Madras. The group tries to escape, but members of the ruling party attack them and capture Durai. Just as they are about to kill him, Chezian throws a handmade bomb to save his life. In the chaos, they fight the members and escape by hiding in the crowd. Durai reaches Madurai and finds pieces of glass from the handmade bomb. He smells it and confirms that it is the same ammunition as the 1959 incident. He tries to chase the group, but they escape in a minivan. A few days later in Madras, the group receives a telegram from the head of Madurai University. It states that 2 student comrades died in the Masi Street attack. Durai decides to protest the next day against police brutality. He even gets authorization. Chezian feels that something is wrong. He asks how he got permission on Republic Day. He says that according to the law, on Republic Day, the police get special powers to stop riots. He understands that it is a trap. He suggests that the protest should be held the next day so that it will be counted under democratic rights.
He tells Durai to stay in a hideout for a few days because the police are searching for them, and he himself will go to get permission. At the collector's office in Chidambaram, Thiru learns that the students have postponed the protest to 27th January. The collector says that on the 27th, to issue a shooting order, they will have to impose Section 144, for which the Chief Minister's signature is required. Thiru says to keep rubber bullets, blank rounds and tear gas ready, and that he will arrange the shooting order. Thiru arrests Ratnamala and shows her father her call records, which include calls to Annamalai College. He blackmails him that if he does not call the Chief Minister to impose Section 144, Ratnamala will remain in jail. Helplessly, Ratnamala's father calls the Chief Minister and requests the imposition of Section 144. The Chief Minister agrees. Ratnamala's father locks her in a room so that she cannot inform the students about Section 144. But Ratnamala takes out a radio from her bag and tries to connect it. The next day, Durai and his group wait for Cherian to bring permission. On the other side, Cherian is waiting outside the collector's office for permission. An officer comes outside. Cherian asks him about the permission, but the officer tells him to wait.
Anxious, Durai tells his group that whether there is permission or not, they will protest because nearby students are also going to join. His friends try to stop him, but he does not listen and leads the group to the protest. At the collector's office, Chesian overhears two officers talking about the enforcement of Section 144. He immediately runs toward the group. There he learns that Durai has already left for the protest. He runs toward the college. At Annamalai College, Thiru arrives with the police force. He allows the protesters to enter and then locks them inside without informing them. Thiru tells his officer to shoot Durai in the chest. The officer hesitates because the gun contains actual bullets. Thiru says that by killing him, their leader will come forward. Then he orders tear gas firing and a lathi charge. The crowd runs in panic, but Durai continues the protest alone. Near the college, Chesian sees that the police are aiming a gun at Durai. From the jeep, Thiru sees Chesian pleading not to shoot. From his eyes, he recognizes that this is the same man he has been searching for all these days. The officer fires the shot and Durai falls down. Chesian runs toward him, lifts him on his back and tries to escape. The police chase him and finally catch him. They put Chesian into the jeep. Thiru kicks Durai into a gutter and leaves him there to die. At the Madras Secretariat, the ruling party and the opposition party debate Durai's death. In police custody, Chesian is hung with ropes. Thiru comes there and orders him to be brought down. He asks him about the rest of his friends who were involved in the protest, but Chesian clearly refuses to give any information. Thiru starts pulling out his nails while questioning him about his companions. Still, Chesian does not reveal anything about his group. The next day, an officer who works with Thiru comes to Chesian. He offers to stab him so that he can escape. Chesian refuses. Then the officer asks him whether he also wants to die at Thiru's hands like his friend Govind. A flashback is shown. When Chesian had jumped out of the window and escaped, Govind had stopped Thiru from shooting him. Thiru brutally beat Govind and asked for Chesian's name, but Govind did not reveal anything. In the end, to escape torture, Govind jumped into the fire himself. In the present, the officer again tries to convince Chesian to let him stab him and escape. In the next scene, the police are beating students while asking about Chesian. In custody, the same officer lies to Thiru that he tried his best to stop Chesian but he escaped. Thiru slaps and beats him. When the officer tries to pick up a gun, Thiru shoots him multiple times. The police raid Chesian's house and take all the students hiding there into custody. The search for Chesian begins everywhere. Chesian hides in the cold storage of a train engine. Thiru searches for him outside. Somehow Chesian manages to reach New Delhi. There, students of the Anti-Hindi Council welcome him. Chesian tells them that he wants to meet Indira Gandhi in an all-party meeting.
To get her attention, he writes "Long live Hindi" in Tamil on a bus board. Seeing this, Tamil people become angry and stop Indira Gandhi's convoy. From the top of the bus, Chezion speaks to Indira Gandhi. He gives an emotional and heart-touching speech saying that Hindi imposition has made their lives miserable and that they are not even receiving fundamental rights. Indira Gandhi agrees to a meeting. In the meeting, Chezion says that more than 75% of students from non-Hindi-speaking states are against Hindi imposition, and they are the future voters. He suggests a signature campaign. Indira Gandhi says that when she comes to Coimbatore on 12 February, they should show their support there. Chezion accepts the proposal and requests the removal of Section 144. Indira Gandhi agrees to remove Section 144. Now they only have 7 days to gather support. They print posters and distribute them among students. On the other side, the government begins to take strict action against promotional activities. Even then, they collect signatures from all over Tamil Nadu. One day, Thiru reaches the chief minister's office. Through information obtained by tapping the post office, he informs about their meeting in Pollachi. He says that no signature will go out of Pollachi. For this, he needs a special task force of non-Tamil-speaking police. The chief minister agrees to provide the task force. On the morning of February 12th, Chezion and his group reach Pollachi. There, they do not find the heads of other states with their signatures. They gather in a mill and begin to feel disappointed. Ratnamala gives an idea. They can broadcast a pirate radio signal. For this, they need a high place and the right angle so that the signal can be broadcast through national radio. Suddenly, they hear someone approaching and become nervous. But, to their relief, it is the heads of other states who join them. They all eat together. A few hours later, Thiru arrives there with the special force. He tells the citizens to hand over the students to him because he has shooting orders. Chezion realizes that Thiru has followed him after reading his tattoo. He asks the mill owner about another escape route. An elderly woman suggests the factory's sewage route, which connects to the main road. Outside, Thiru shoots a man to provoke a violent riot. People clash with the police and start overpowering them. Inside the mill, everyone escapes through the sewage route, but Chezion does not go with them. Suddenly, the army arrives and takes control of the town. They begin searching for Chezion and his group. A soldier wants to check the sewage, but his companion says that no one is there. In this way, the group survives. Outside, Thiru lines up the citizens against a wall and threatens to kill them one by one. At that moment, Chezion comes forward with the signature papers and surrenders himself to Thiru. Thiru orders the soldiers to burn the papers. He catches a flying paper and sees that it is blank. In anger, he beats Chezion and asks about the papers. Suddenly, he hears the sound of a train and realizes that the real papers have been sent on the train. A major arrives there whom Thiru had called earlier. Thiru tells him to shoot everyone, but keep Chezion alive, because he needs him alive. Saying this, Thiru leaves to catch the train. On the road, the group members are escaping in a truck. Ahead, they see a police checkpost. To distract them, one man jumps from the truck and draws the police's attention toward himself. While he keeps the police busy, the others cross the checkpost. But the police shoot the man, and he dies there. In Pollachi, Ratnamala sets up the radio with the help of a group member. She begins speaking on the radio about their situation. At first, she stammers, but after seeing the dead bodies, her fear disappears. She starts speaking fluently and appeals to people to gather at Coimbatore station and show their support against Hindi imposition. On the other side, Thiru spots the moving train. He jumps from his jeep onto the train. Inside, he finds the signed papers. He alerts the army to stop the train at the next station because it could be a threat to ministers and bombs might be planted in it. At the Coimbatore collector's office, after waiting for 2 hours, Indira Gandhi leaves for the railway station. At the next station, the major does not stop the train. Instead, he orders his soldiers to throw the signed papers inside the train. It is then revealed that the major is also a member of Chezion's group. Inside the train, a fierce fight begins between Chezion and Thiru. Thiru tries to throw the bags out, but Chezion stops him. During the fight, Chezion uses his knowledge of his work and sets the engine on fire. Then, he disconnects the engine from the rest of the train. Seeing the engine on fire, people at the station become afraid. A group member changes the engine's direction and diverts it to another track. The engine stops with a massive crash, and the other part of the train comes and stops in front of Indira Gandhi. The group members take out the signed signed papers of their respective states and show them to Indira Gandhi. Then, Chejian also comes forward with the signed paper of his state. An officer finds Thiru injured in the engine and suggests taking him to the hospital, but he refuses. After this incident, the Prime Minister of India promises that the previous Prime Minister's promise will be upheld. She declares that every state can choose its own official language and that English will continue as an official language. The Tamil Nadu state government also announces that in Tamil Nadu, the Official Language Act will be disregarded, and both English and Tamil will be considered official languages. In memory of Rajendra, who was martyred in gunfire, a memorial statue is installed at the entrance. This video is dedicated to those countless heroes whose names and faces we may never know, but who sacrificed their lives for Tamil. You can subscribe to this channel to receive more videos like this.